It's 3 a.m. Your room is quiet. The world outside is still, and yet your eyes are wide open. You stare at the ceiling, wondering why, again, you've been pulled out of sleep. Maybe you reach for your phone. Maybe you lie in silence, letting the weight of wakefulness settle over you. You tell yourself, it's just a habit. Or worse, maybe something's wrong with me. But what if waking up at 3 a.m. is not a problem? What if it's a message? One you've ignored for far too long. Welcome to Whispers of Wisdom. Tonight, we will explore a quiet hour that holds more meaning than we often realize. Let's take a deep breath together and begin. Number 1. The hour between night and dawn. Waking up at 3 a.m. isn't just an inconvenience. It's a mystery, one that many people, especially as we grow older, experience more frequently. At this hour, the sky outside is ink black. The world is asleep. But something within you isn't. There's a reason this moment feels different. Some cultures call it the hour of the soul. Others see it as a divine pause, when the veil between the physical and the spiritual world becomes thinner. And though science may offer logical explanations, like changes in melatonin or the body's circadian rhythm, sometimes the body speaks in ways science has not yet named. Could it be that your heart is trying to tell you something? If you listen closely, there's a whisper underneath the silence, a whisper that says, you are not alone. Perhaps your body has simply become more sensitive with age. The noises you once slept through now stir you. Or maybe your sleep cycle has shifted, and this is your new normal. But deeper still, perhaps 3 a.m. is an invitation. A time to hear the thoughts you've pushed aside all day. A moment when the soul finally has space to speak. We are often taught to fill our days with noise. But the truth is, sometimes, waking up in the quiet is the only way the soul can be heard. Number 2, the emotional meaning of waking up at 3 a.m. What were you feeling when you woke up? Was it anxiety, sadness, a strange clarity? The hours between 3 and 4 a.m. are often linked to emotional unrest. Our subconscious minds, long suppressed during the day, begin to surface when everything else quiets down. Regrets, unfinished conversations, fears about the future, longings for the past. At 3 a.m., the truth comes gently, yet insistently. We are forced to face ourselves, without distraction, without denial. And that can be a sacred thing, because this is the hour when healing begins. Not through sleep, but through self-awareness. Sometimes your body wakes you up not because it's broken, but because it's whole enough to notice what your mind ignored. The next time you wake up at 3 a.m., ask yourself, what am I feeling? What am I avoiding? What do I need to release? You might be surprised at how much peace you find. Not in sleeping, but in understanding. This is not the hour of insomnia. It is the hour of honesty, and honesty brings peace. Number 3, a spiritual perspective, the divine hour. Many ancient traditions regard 3 a.m. as a sacred hour. In Chinese medicine, the lung meridian is active between 3 and 5 a.m., a time associated with grief and the processing of sorrow. In spiritual traditions, this is the time of divine whispers, of connection, of prayer. It's said that monks rise during this time to meditate. Mystics throughout history have found 3 a.m. to be a doorway to clarity. Because the world is quiet, the soul speaks louder. And you've been invited to listen. Maybe you didn't expect the invitation. Maybe you would have preferred sleep. But what if, in the long quiet between yesterday and today, you've been called to meet a deeper part of yourself, a part that doesn't need to perform, a part that doesn't need to be strong, a part that only asks for presence. This is not just the body waking. This is your spirit stretching. Maybe the divine is closer at 3 a.m. Not because it moves, but because you finally do. You finally stop long enough to notice. Number 4, physical and psychological triggers. Of course, not all 3 a.m. wake-ups are spiritual messages. Sometimes they're a result of a late cup of tea, or the side effect of medication, or simply age-related changes in sleep architecture. As we grow older, deep sleep becomes lighter. Our brains become more alert to changes in temperature, light, and even thoughts that bubble up from stress. Chronic pain, worries about loved ones, financial concerns. These all create micro-stress patterns that surface in the early morning hours. If this is your story, be gentle with yourself. You are not doing anything wrong. Your body is not betraying you. It's adjusting. It's alert. It's wiser than it once was. Still, creating a calming bedtime routine can help. Dim the lights an hour before sleep. Avoid screens and stimulation. Write down any thoughts in a journal. Listen to soft instrumental music or nature sounds. And if you do wake up, don't panic. Instead of reaching for your phone, reach inward. Place your hand over your heart. Feel your breath. Whisper a small affirmation. I am safe. I am loved. I am here. Let this moment become a blessing, not a burden. Number 5, what your soul might be trying to say. There are things we carry that have never been spoken. Grief that lingers. Forgiveness that hasn't been given. Dreams we've shelved. At 3 a.m., these truths stir, not to torment you, but to free you. Maybe your soul is asking, when will you finally slow down? When will you speak the truth? When will you return to what matters? Sometimes the soul doesn't need an answer. It just needs your attention. And that may be why you wake up. Not to do something, but simply to be in the silence, to remember who you are beneath the roles and routines, to listen without fear, and maybe to love yourself a little more gently. Number 6, if you're waking up often, know this. You're not broken. You're becoming more aware. You're not losing sleep. You're gaining presence. You're not alone. You are part of a quiet tribe across the world, whose hearts stir when the rest of the world sleeps. People who, like you, are learning to listen, to pause, to heal. Waking up at 3 a.m. may not be easy, but sometimes the most meaningful moments in life happen when no one else is watching. Let it be okay. Let it be holy. Let it be yours. If you find yourself waking again tonight, try this. Sit up gently, put your feet on the ground, and say, thank you. Thank you for this breath. Thank you for this body. Thank you for this quiet time to just be. And then, listen, not for noise, but for the whisper, the one that says, you are exactly where you need to be. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might need it. Subscribe to Whispers of Wisdom, and remember, sometimes the deepest peace comes not from sleeping through the night, but from waking up, and finally hearing your soul. Good night, dear friend. Until next time.